Hey, it's Chris Chico, and in this video, I'm going to share with you a case study of how we were able to help one of our clients get a property assigned for a $17,000 assignment fee using Facebook ads in order to find motivated sellers. Now, I'm going to walk through quite a bit of detail about this transaction here. This particular transaction is in Sacramento, California, so it is in a fairly populated area. This is important because sometimes when people use Facebook ads in order to find motivated sellers, and they complain that you are going to get leads in very rural areas and in areas that are don't really have anything going on, and that is the case. Yes, we do get a lot of leads that way, but it's okay, and I'll show you in a minute why it's okay. So long as we get the right leads at certain points in our lead flow, because we could literally throw away every single lead. And if we just have a couple of them that work out, that is more than enough to make that campaign a success. What I did is I actually screenshotted a conversation that I had with David on our team. So David is part of our disposition team, along with Gene in our partner program. So when a student, the way it works, just so you understand. So for this particular student, we went ahead and put their ads together, meaning that we went ahead and trying to see if I can operate this thing. Okay, so how I can expand it just a little bit, maybe, I don't know. All right, for now, let's not look at this so I can explain to you what's going on. So the way it works is we set up the ads for the client. And if you're interested in us doing that for you, there's a link in the description. We set up the ads. And it's like a car, right? When you buy a car, nobody asks you to build a car. You get the car built for you, delivered, and then there's an owner's manual that shows you how to operate it. This is kind of what we did with him. We built the machine, give him an owner's manual, and off to the races he went. And then what we do is then we give help and advice on the leads as they come in, so that we can help them and help our clients and direct them on, hey, what to offer on the property, what not to offer, etc. So we gave them specific directions about this particular property. So David reached out, and I'm reading this thread here because there's some other things that would be of help to you. So David said, hey, Jared popped his cherry. Sorry, for you ladies there, I apologize for his demeanor, although he didn't know that this was going to be on YouTube. So maybe you could show some grace to him. Closing in 8:10, so it's Jared's first deal. And I asked him how he found the buyer. So we found the buyer using Investor Lift. He also mentioned that there was a little wrinkle in the deal. The sellers needed 2 weeks to stay at the property. And so they were able to work it out with the buyer to stay at the property after the closing. And so that was one of the things. And then with Investor Lift is the main platform we use to sell our deals. And there's a couple ways to use the platform. I asked him if he got the buyer through Artemis mode, which is where you can look, if you have a property listed, you can look to see buyers that looked at other deals near the one that you have, and then you can reach out to those buyers. That wasn't the case here. This area was pretty good. So what he did is he sent out a blast for buyers through the platform, and then he just got a bunch of responses and sorted through them. And the interesting thing about this deal is that he said the deal isn't super thick. What he means by that is not a deal where the buyer is going to make a ton of money, but in this market they are limited in the amount of deals that are available, and so as a result, the buyer was willing to take less in terms of a profit. So that's something to consider, in the sense that a lot of times when you evaluate properties, you have to look at them on a per market basis, because in certain markets, if they're hot, then you could pay a little bit more and the buyer could make a little bit less, and everybody is still going to be okay with that. And also, we just had a discussion around type of properties. So this particular property, I think it was an inherited property, and so we are getting a good number of inherited leads. And let me see, that was actually one in some of the So he mentioned you do get leads that are going to be in rural areas, but you can't avoid it. And so long as you get leads in pretty good areas. So the reason why inherited is good is because in this market, when you have sellers that need to sell and they need to buy something else, then that's a problem because whatever they're going to buy, their monthly payment, right? They could buy equivalently, they could buy the same house that they're in, but yet they're going to pay more per month because the interest rates are higher. So that's causing sellers not to sell right now. And that's a problem for real estate agents. But for us as real estate investors, if we get the right prospect, that they don't care or don't need to purchase another property, i.e. an inherited property, then that's the best type of property owner, because now we don't have to worry about that. And now they're reasonable in terms of the property being sold and getting it off their hands. So that's the other thing that it was that's interesting. So we are getting a lot of inherited properties. Now, this is the campaign. So you see here, this one here is the campaign. The campaign that he ran had 41 leads at an average cost of $18 per lead. This campaign is with a lead form using Facebook's own internal lead form system, and the targeting states, meaning that we target not nationwide, but the top 21 states that we feel we've done the most deals in and we feel are the best states for wholesaling. You can see this screen here right below. On this one here, just a blow up of this other one here, 41 leads at $18 a lead. So he spent $770 for those leads. Now, to give you an idea of the flow of the leads, this here on the left-hand side are the dates. And this column here where it says 41, that's a total number of leads. And that's how the leads come in. So if you look at this is 7-1. If you look at 7-1, that was when the campaign was first created. And so it got 2 leads, then 4 leads the next day, 4 leads, 6 leads. And then, then they had 1 lead, and then they had no leads. And this is a mistake people make, is that they panic and they're like, oh my God, Chico, I've had such great lead flow, and today I didn't have any leads. Should I turn the campaign off? And the answer is no. Because if the campaign is still within KPI, then continue to let it run, because it will pick back up. And you see that. 7-7, it had 3 leads, then 1 lead, then no leads, then another lead. But it was still within KPI. So that's okay. If you notice, like that 1 lead, that one day, you paid $39 as an example on 7-10. But overall, the campaign was still performing well from a big picture perspective. If we scroll down, you see the rest of the day, 7-11, which is at the bottom of the screen, 3 leads, 1. And then, had a couple days there where it didn't get any leads, but that's okay, because overall the campaign was doing well and it was producing, good leads. Now, again, just to reiterate, a lot of people ask, well, how good are the leads? Am I going to get good leads? The answer is, no matter what marketing you do, you're not every lead is going to be an amazing lead. And if somebody tells you that, they're lying to you. You're going to get, if regardless, we have a couple ways that we can help you. So we have courses that if you wanted to just do it yourself, we have hands-on where we can set this thing up for you. But, I'm not going to tell you that, oh my gosh, we're going to set this up and every single lead that comes in is going to be the most amazing lead. You're going to faint. It's just going to be, you're going to be in shock of how good these leads are. No, you're going to get crappy leads in rural areas, and those are maybe great practice for you. If you're brand new in the business, you need people to talk to. But some of those, once you get the hang of it, you're just going to ignore them. You may not even call them. But you're looking out for when that great lead comes in, then you're going to be on it and you're going to get a reasonable seller. And the distinction I kind of talk about is the distinction between motivated sellers and reasonable sellers. And most people, just because they're motivated doesn't mean that you can get, make that deal. What you want is a combination of motivation and that seller being reasonable. And by reasonable, meaning that they say, yes, the property needs work and fixing up. I know that the properties are selling for this much, but I know that they're already fixed up in really good shape. And I know that I need to sell less because of the condition. And so when you have a seller like that, plus you add motivation such as hey, I have an inherited property, I have a vacant property, I need to sell no matter what the situation or circumstances are, then that's when you get a deal. And out of, however number of leads here, there were 41 leads. He had another campaign that he ran that just had a handful of leads. But let's say if it was 50 leads, maybe out of all those, there might be 5 or 6 really strong prospects. But all you need is even just one, because in this scenario, if he spent $770 and he got a deal that is $17,000, doesn't take too many calculations to realize that that's a really great return on investment. And so, obviously you have, the key components of this is that, if the leads are coming in, now you have to, talk appropriately to the leads, be able to have a great conversation, be able to, analyze the deals properly. That's the other part of it, is because when you're doing this and you're going across several states, then every market is different. There's so many nuances, and so analyzing it correctly so that you make the right decision about whether or not it's a deal or not a deal, and you make the right decision about the price. Because in this scenario, for example, if he would have said, "Hey, we really got to get this really, really cheap," and so he could have said no to the seller on that price, and he would have missed out on a deal simply because he may not have known, he didn't know the nuances of the market in terms of, hey, it looks like people are paying X for this here. And you could pay more, and so that's what happened here. And we do that analysis all with Zillow. Really, we don't use any other tools except for Zillow in order to figure out what properties are worth, even in non-disclosure states, which are states that don't reveal the pricing information. So there you have it. So I wanted to let's see if we can get the camera just a little bit higher. Ooh, the what do you call it? The way it looks is not that great. It's not so crispy, but it's okay. There you have it. So look, bottom line is that online lead generation works. You saw here an example of where you could generate an overabundance of leads coming into your real estate business, and then now you convert into a sifting and sorting business, because that's really what we want. We don't want a convincing business where every time a seller comes in, now because you have so few of them, now you have to fight and you have to negotiate really hard and become a sales ninja in order to get them to say yes to your price. That's a very difficult type of business to run. The other type of business is one in which you get an overabundance of leads, such that then now you don't have to do a deal with everybody, and you can pick and choose, and you can wait for the right opportunity for a reasonable and a motivated seller that then will say yes. And then at that point, then you push the process, from beginning to end. And so hope this was helpful. Make sure you watch this video here that shows you more details in terms of how we run our campaigns when it comes to finding motivated sellers on TikTok, because that's another platform that we're having great success with. And if you're interested, click the link in the description and we can help you implementing the system and holding you by the hand in order to get some deals going nationwide wholesaling.